In life, holding on to people who do not value us can create heavy emotional and spiritual burdens. Constantly seeking their approval, worrying about their opinions, or trying to fix relationships that are unreciprocated drains the heart and mind. In Islam, believers are taught that emotional peace is a form of spiritual wealth, and letting go of attachments that cause harm can restore balance and tranquility. When you stop chasing people, you release the weight of expectations that were never meant to be carried alone. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ emphasized turning to Allah in all matters, trusting Him to guide relationships and outcomes. By letting go, you acknowledge that some hearts will never respond as you hope, and you leave their guidance to Allah. This act is not abandonment, it is wisdom, patience, and trust. Letting go also prevents resentment from building in the heart. Emotional burdens like frustration, jealousy, and disappointment often grow when we try to force others to act or care differently. Releasing them allows the heart to focus on what truly matters: self-improvement, worship, and positive connections that bring mutual respect. In essence, letting go is not weakness, it is liberation. By stepping back, the believer creates space for peace, clarity, and Allah's guidance, discovering that serenity often comes when control is surrendered to Him. In Islam, true contentment comes not from the approval or attention of people, but from sincere reliance on Allah, Tawakkul. When we depend too heavily on others, seeking validation, support, or love, we risk disappointment, hurt, and instability because humans are fallible. Allah, however, is Al-Wakil, the ultimate disposer of affairs, and turning to Him replaces uncertainty with security and peace. Letting go of unhealthy attachments allows the heart to redirect its trust. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ taught that whoever relies on Allah, He is sufficient for them. This is not passive dependence, it is active faith paired with effort. When we stop chasing people who do not value us, we create space for dua, reflection, and spiritual growth. The heart learns to seek support and comfort from the one who never disappoints, never betrays, and never changes. Dependency on people can often lead to anxiety and emotional exhaustion, but reliance on Allah brings serenity. It strengthens patience, softens the heart, and allows the believer to accept outcomes with contentment. By turning away from futile pursuits and toward Allah, the believer experiences a profound sense of relief, realizing that what truly sustains life and peace is divine care, not human approval. Letting go of people you chase is ultimately a step toward letting Allah take control, and in that surrender lies unimaginable tranquility. In Islam, attachment to people who do not value, respect, or reciprocate care can obscure the blessings Allah intends for us. When we cling too tightly to relationships, seeking constant validation or forcing connections, our hearts become crowded with frustration, disappointment, and emotional strain. Detachment, on the other hand, creates space internally, both internally and externally, for Allah to bring the right people, opportunities, and blessings into our lives. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ taught that reliance on Allah and trust in His plan is key to contentment. Letting go of relationships that drain or mislead allows the heart to focus on worship, self-improvement, and meaningful connections. Detachment is not abandonment or hatred. It is a conscious choice to stop chasing what is not beneficial and to leave outcomes in Allah's hands. When the heart is free from unnecessary emotional burdens, clarity emerges. We recognize who and what truly adds value to our lives. Often, blessings arrive quietly when we stop forcing interactions or seeking approval. By detaching from what is harmful, the believer cultivates gratitude for what is rightfully theirs, strengthens spiritual awareness, and becomes ready to receive divine favors without distraction. In essence, detachment is a pathway to inner peace and abundant blessings. Allah fills the space we free with what is best for us, even when we least expect it. In Islam, maintaining emotional, spiritual, and personal boundaries is a sign of wisdom and self-respect. Constantly chasing people who do not value your time, effort, or presence can lead to stress, disappointment, and a restless heart. When you set healthy boundaries and stop overextending yourself, inner peace begins to emerge naturally. Boundaries protect your faith, your dignity, and your emotional well-being. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ demonstrated boundaries through his interactions, balancing kindness and generosity with firmness when necessary. He taught that helping others is virtuous, but it should never come at the cost of one's own peace, principles, or spiritual growth. When boundaries are respected, both the giver and receiver benefit. The heart remains calm, interactions are healthier, and relationships become meaningful rather than burdensome. Boundaries also create space for reflection, worship, and reliance on Allah, Tawakkul. They remind the believer that true support should be reciprocal and aligned with goodness, not exploitation. Over time, detachment from those who repeatedly cross limits allows clarity to emerge, revealing who genuinely values you and what relationships bring growth. In essence, peace is a reward of wisdom. By defining limits and respecting them, the believer protects the heart from unnecessary stress, strengthens trust in Allah's plan, and experiences serenity that cannot be shaken by others' actions. In Islam, the heart's ultimate purpose is to seek closeness to Allah, engage in worship, and cultivate good character. When a person spends excessive time chasing approval, validation, or attention from others, it becomes a distraction from this higher purpose. Energy, focus, and emotional capacity are diverted to relationships that may not be beneficial, leaving little room for spiritual development. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ emphasized prioritizing the remembrance of Allah and righteous actions over worldly attachments. When we constantly seek to please or control others, we risk neglecting our salah, dhikr, da'ah, and reflection. This distraction can subtly weaken faith, as the heart becomes dependent on human recognition rather than divine guidance. Letting go of people who do not value or respect us is not selfish. It is a conscious decision to preserve our spiritual focus. Detachment creates space for sincerity in worship, self-improvement, and reliance on Allah, Tawakkul. It also allows us to recognize relationships that are genuinely supportive of our spiritual journey. By stopping the chase, the believer redirects energy from fleeting human approval toward eternal growth. Time once lost to worry or seeking validation becomes time devoted to strengthening iman, deepening connection with Allah, and preparing the heart for the blessings He has planned. True spiritual peace comes when the heart is free from distraction and fully devoted to Allah.